Hey everyone, I'm Yvette Lloyd, host of Life Her Podcast. We have an amazing guest with us. He is a vocal coach and also an amazing international studio coach as well. He celebrated his 13 years, and it is so amazing to see how far he's come because I've seen him from the beginning on social media and even some years back behind, and it's amazing to see everything. Jaron is a singer, professor, voice researcher, and celebrating also like a celebrity vocal coach. And he has worked with a Grammy Award winning nominated artist. And also, he is the best known as his mission helped every singer and speaker be vocally you. And it's so important for you to be just you and who you are. And I'm quite sure that he gets to the bottom of it too. And also from being a voice pedagogy. Is that right?
Pedagogy, yeah.
Okay.
You was right though. You was in the wheelhouse.
Okay. And also he has been transformed adversity and also artistry. And he has bold, authentic approach to build a global community of supporters. And I would like to welcome you, Jaron M. LeGrair.
Hello, friend.
Hey, friend. You know it's so difficult to do this because of me knowing you personally, but I'm interviewing you professionally.
Yeah.
So it's kind of odd.
I like it though. It's a good mix. I feel like it'll be fun, you know?
Yes, it's a really good mix. So I have previously seen you do multiple interviews. I've seen you speak to people on social media. I've seen a lot of things. But what I haven't seen is you be your authentic self internally on the show of feeling comfortable and feeling you and expressing who Jaron is. And a lot of people don't know. And this is a time.
You gonna get a little personal?
Yes.
Okay.
For you to actually just be you because everyone loves you. But it's so much love that's within you that people can love you even more. And first and foremost, I would like to know who was Jaron before the world has seen him.
Oh gosh, who was Jaron? You know, Jaron was, as the folks say about LeBron, the boy from Akron. But I just grew up in Akron, going to school, didn't know I was going to be what I am now. You know, like I just sang at a church on Iroquois Avenue, Phillips Chapel, senior me. Went to school, APS, like Akron Public School, shout outs to them. You know, like, so I just really kind of lived the quintessential, you know, growing up life in Akron, you know, but I've always been a singer. That's always been a part of my lineage and a part of my life. My brothers sing, my mother and father sing, my grandparents sang. So it's just aunts and uncles, both sides sing. So it's just always been a part of me. But in terms of the teacher stuff, like that didn't come till much later. But Jaron is a guy who likes to, you know, who's big on like doing like art. Like people don't know that I do like graphic design sometimes and stuff like that. I do my own thumbnails for my YouTube channel. Come on, somebody. Okay. Like all that kind of stuff. Like I do that stuff. People don't know that it's me. You know, I'm also all of that stuff that I've done before, like with the, you know, the art and everything. So I'm into like that kind of stuff too. I love going to museums, you know, I don't, you know, just that sort of stuff, like just stuff outside of the identity of the voice teacher and the singer. You know, it's still usually artistic, but still very much like, you know, visual art. You know, I like to read sometimes, you know, like that sort of thing. Like I'm a normal human being that likes different stuff, you know. But like you said, people do see me as who I am and they say, oh, that's him totally. And it's just a part of who I am, you know. So it's nice to talk about things outside of that sometimes. You know, of course, still talk about that too. But yeah, there's more to me that meets the eye, at least the social media eye, you know. So that's what I would say.
Yes. So how did you feel about being teased and misunderstood at a young age in a role that your family and community played in helping you from keeping going to where you at today?
You know, it was hard. It was really hard because I didn't quite understand why I was being teased so much for the things that I did naturally. Like it wasn't something that I say, you know, Jesus, give me this. Give Jesus, I want to be. It's just I grew up, I had this, you know, this voice, this stuff. And as a result, people tease me for it, But I will say my community, my mom, my dad, shout outs to them, my mentors, Les Parker Barnes from Yeepaw, like all those people, they really cultivated and didn't make me feel bad about what I had, in terms of the thing that people talk about most was my high voice. That was the thing that people just, they grilled me for that. I remember singing at a event and I opened my mouth and the room erupted into some soft laughter when I started singing. Yeah, I was in 8th grade. And I'll never forget that. And they made me feel so bad because they just, I guess, didn't expect the sound coming out of my body that came out of my body. So that kind of stuff I just lived with most of my life, but like I said, the community that I had around me, they still let me sing what I wanted to sing, what I could sing, what I was capable of doing. Like my brothers, nobody was like, they were like, this is your voice you got, we gonna maximize on that thing.
Yeah.
Because they all said this is something special. So I was singing soprano and alto in choir as I do to this very day. I still sing alto and soprano and stuff, but back then I was doing it too. And like I said, that community that I had really helped ground me and really was a caveat for where I am today, because they were so supportive, of me growing up, being artistic, being all the things that I was being, letting me have these crazy ideas and, printing out computer paper, printing stuff and scribbling on stuff and all that kind of stuff. I feel like all of that stuff that my parents and my community watched me do and let me do was really a big factor in who I am today because I was able to just express myself.
Yeah.
My parents never hindered me with that. They encouraged it, if anything. So I will always be indebted to them for, helping me become the man that I am today.
That is such a blessing because a lot of people aren't, blessed with a village like that. So the people that don't have that support or even a younger generation of a child that has experienced these experiences, what advice do you have for them to keep going the way you did and for them to get out of a dark space and the thoughts that you never know what they're thinking about?
My dad always said to me when I had bad experiences or I was nervous about something, he said, hey, this is temporary. It's temporary. In our world at the age of 8, our reality is the world, but there's so much world ahead and around us that is outside of the scope of our 8-year-old brain. And so for those who are struggling with this sort of thing or want to move past it, these thoughts and these folks saying stuff is temporary. They're going to, at some point, it's going to dissipate, it's going to leave, and you'll still be able to do what you're called to do, what you're supposed to do, what you want to do, and find people who do encourage you. Maybe ask God or, kind of seek those people who can encourage and uplift you. Because it is important to have that community too, but sometimes that community is not as tangible or reachable,
right?
As some other communities can be, so, trying to find those people, even if there's one person, even if there's one person to say, hey, I'm lift you up, I'm gonna support you, that you ride or die with that person. Okay, stick by them, So that's what I would say. But those thoughts will leave. They are temporary. They're not gonna last forever, and you can use those thoughts and those experiences to give you the strength and courage to then encourage somebody else to say, hey, I've been through that sort of thing. It's fine. You'll be all right. People gonna peopling, like they gonna do that.
Yes.
But as long as you keep your eye on the prize, as long as you keep your head looking up, you'll be just fine. Easier said than done, I know.
Oh God,
but it is definitely possible.
It is
definitely possible.
Definitely. So behind the scenes, what were some of the struggles you faced that people may not see today?
Business wise, or like just
little both.
Little both. I will say, even to this day, I sometimes struggle with the isolation of success.
Ooh,
You
I talking to me.
Okay. I mean, for real, like I saw a post one of my friends posted. I wish I could remember it, but I'm gonna paraphrase it, basically saying leadership is a lonely place to be in.
It is.
It is a lonely place to be in. And I didn't know I was going to be a leader like this until I became one. I didn't, again, ask God, Lord, I want to be social media famous. I ain't asking none of this. But when it all happened, I just kind of ran with it, and the more I've grown, the more I've realized that it can be, especially when you run your own business, when you run your own thing, it can be very isolating because you're so many hats. You have to do so many things. and then, you find the time to chill out, but then it's an isolating quiet when you chill out because it's just you and you, sitting by yourself like, okay.
Yes.
So it can be isolating in some ways. And sometimes when I was working for myself full time, I would go 2, 3, 4, 5 days and I leave the house to talk to people. I didn't realize until I walked out on a Saturday morning and I'm like, sunshine, whoa, and because I'm in there teaching, I'm recording content, I'm doing this, but everything is contained to my 2 spots, my studio and my home. So I had to go nowhere else. If I got groceries, I don't gotta go nowhere. I got food. Like I got to leave home. It's like it's the comfort of my own home. So it can be very isolating. And I know that a community, even in that regard of just having friends around, having your family around, or just to call them, whatever, is very important. I have a cousin who I go out to lunch with probably like once a week now, and we look forward to it every time. Like we go to different spots, whether it's in Strongsville, Akron, wherever you feel like going. But I look forward to those times because I could let my hair down with her. We could just talk about anything else besides business.
Yes.
So those really help me to move on and to kind of sustain what I'm doing. But yeah, that isolation, both business-wise and personally. A lot of people like, you still single because you all these people in your DMs. I said, they're asking for videos. They're asking for, they're asking me voice questions. They're asking me what my favorite color is. They're asking all of that stuff. And I love my followers. Don't get me wrong. Like, I love my Jaritones. Shout out to y'all. I love my Jaritones. But again, to your first point, everybody sees Jaron the vocal coach, Jaron the social media person. And so they think that's my whole identity.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it's the struggle of being on social media saying, okay, there's more to me than meets the eye, but so many people see you as a vocal coach or the guy who analyzes videos. So it's hard for some people to see past that, like, oh, so it can be isolating in that way too.
Yeah.
So it's isolation. I would say loneliness is really a big struggle of mine sometimes.
Sometimes how we level up in life, we sometimes find ourselves not having nothing in common with our friends and family. And it's nothing personal. It's just our mindsets are different. Our outlook on life is differently. The rooms that we've been in are differently. We've experienced different levels of people to a point you be like, while I'm here, but who can I talk to about this that is on that level too? And then you may meet someone, but it's hard to trust too.
Yes, for real.
Yeah.
For real, it is very hard. It's hard. Not saying it's impossible. We can't trust people, but it's just because we hold so much with our business, with our lives, with ourselves. To trust somebody with that it can be hard.
Yes.
Because, we have so many eyes looking at us. You have so many people listening, I know I can't move the same way I did 3 years ago.
You can't.
I can't, and I had a realization with that same cousin I went out to eat with. She said that one day on the phone, and she was like, you can't do what you was doing before. You just can't do it. And, and those are some of the hard truths that I like my cousin to tell me. Like we have those conversations. She can be real with me and I hear it 100%, but yeah, it's just when you're in leadership or in the public eye, you have to move different.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing,
No, it's not. That sometimes people think it's a bad thing or acting funny or you doing things, but they won't really understand until they actually get where you're at.
Right.
And it's hard to juggle that because you don't want no one to feel that way because it's not intentional of you doing that. It's just life. It changes you. Experiences changes you. People change you as far as the things on how they react, what they say. And you have to be guarded with yourself and build that relationship with God.
Absolutely.
So strong to a point you have to have Psalms 91 constantly.
Hello? No, for real. Those scriptures will carry you on through. Now, don't get me started because I'll shout. Now, I will shout, okay? But no, you're right. And that's this is kind of like the peace that surpasses all understanding. This is that sort of stuff where it kind of surpasses the human capacity where we have peace with God and peace with ourselves enough to keep moving.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So it is so true. You got to have those scriptures or, have those things in your heart and in your mind and in your spirit to carry you on through because it gets hard this life sometimes.
So hard.
It gets hard. And again, when you didn't sign up for it, I was like, well, now I didn't even want this. How am I doing it? How am I in this?
Yes.
Like I didn't ask for this. I just showed up,
Yes.
Because when I started doing the videos, I just was doing it because I wanted to. This wasn't no formula to be social. Some people set out to be, I'm going to be a YouTuber. That was never in my brain ever. I just, when I wanted to be a teacher, I said, I'm going to be a teacher. And then I started doing the videos to me out of necessity of a solution of a gap that I saw in the industry. But then it just took off, and then the rest is history, Wow. So even that, but so when I didn't sign up for it, but now I got to, curtail and manage my life in this new lane. Like, oh, woo, how do I manage this? They're like, I'm lonely all the time. Now I'm hard to trust people. Like, it's such a conundrum.
Yeah, you go through emotions.
Yeah, it's a conundrum.
Oh my God. So how has your relationship with God shaped you, not only your personal life, but in a way where you use your gifts to serve others in your studio?
God, my relationship with God is everything. It is everything. I feel I was getting emotional already. Goodness gracious. I didn't even say nothing, but for real, it is everything. It has sustained and kept my mind. You know how folks say mind regulator? You live a little, you understand what they mean. Yes. Okay. Like, when I was younger hearing that word, I'm like, okay, mind regulator. I was singing it, to the day is done. But now I'm like, oh, I know what you meant by that. Because the lane that I'm in, it can rock your mind. Even the stuff that happened in my family's life in the last, several years have rocked my mind. I've been to therapy. I go to therapy. Like, I'm all for that, but I more so rely on God, with the therapy and everything else that I've been through. But in terms of my relationship, it has sustained me. So I trust God in my business. I trust God in my personal. I consult God in everything. A lot of times I post videos because I feel like God told me to, not because I want to get a view and a like. Some of them I'm doing what people tag me in. Cool. But sometimes I'll post a video of somebody to hopefully uplift them. Maybe I saw their social media. I'm like, I just want to give them a little encouragement. Just kind of, I know this person from a can of paint. But something in me says, post this, and usually when it happens, something happens after it. Like there's a reason why I posted it, whether, it's for something that they wanted to do, or they reach out to me and tell me a story of like, I was feeling like this or whatever. And your video was like, oh my God, I was so, it uplifted me. And if that's the reason why I need to post it, that's enough of a reason for me to lift somebody. Because we're supposed to encourage and serve others, right?
Yes.
So if the reason is to just give them a smile, give them something to smile about that day, cool. My job is done. It's a post. I ain't giving out no money. I'm just, making a public post to say, you sound good when you sing, when you speak, whatever. And just kind of explain what the person is doing. So, I consult God with all of my stuff. I try to walk with him in every facet of my business. And I think that's the foundation as to why, thanks be to God, it's been so successful. Because I'm like, I trust you.
Yes.
Again, like, I didn't set out to do this. I just kind of rolled with the punches of what came to my brain, which clearly was the Holy Spirit telling me, hey, do this. God telling Jaron, hey, do this. And I'm like, okay, I'll do it. I'm just like, I'm fine. Okay, I'll try it. I don't really think deep about it.
Yeah.
But then the result is like, whoa, and I always think about when I get discouraged, I think about when I met the Clark sisters the first time. I'll never forget this. And one of my vocal goats, Karen Clark Sheard. Everybody know.
Yes.
Now I love me some Karen Clark Sheard. I love all the Twinkie, Dorinda. I love them all, And she held my hand and she just said, keep doing this. We need you. We need you to do this. What you're doing is blessing the body. It's blessing the people, like all this other stuff. And every time I get discouraged, I think about that moment and it just gives me a little boost. Like, if my vocal goat said, keep doing it to me,
yes,
I'm going to keep doing it because she said it. Like that moment lives so vividly in my brain, and that was a God moment meeting them, how all that happened. I posted a video of Miss Clark Chisholm. She DM'd me, long story short, and led me to meet them. But that was just because I just felt led to post about her.
Yeah.
I wanted to encourage her. Boom. And I'm now working and sitting alongside them and holding their hand while we're doing stuff, So it's that kind of stuff. Not that I'm looking for that gain, let me say that. I'm not looking for that gain. It's just God has a way of moving things around. Let one of my dreams come true of meeting them. Oh my God, that was a dream come true. So yeah, but I just try to keep God at the center of everything that I do. And I'm talking a lot, I'm sorry.
No, you okay.
And the good thing is that even though my studio is not a faith-based studio, I'm a faith-based man.
Yes, you are.
That's what I always say. Like, this studio, I love everybody here, okay? Hallelujah, come on in. I said, but I love Jesus now. Now, you going to get some Jesus with me. But it has never been to the point of like, oh my God, it's too much. People are always encouraged people are always uplifted, and that's the goal. I just want to uplift and encourage people through my stuff. I don't want to be ready to say, you sound bad, you sound terrible. No, there's enough of that in the world. I just want to say, this is some good music, some good sounds. Look, listen to this person speak. Listen how they say these words. This is cool. And just enjoy art. Enjoy what God created us to do.
Yes.
You know?
And it's so crazy when you said, like, as far as your studio is not set for God, but you are a godly person. And that's what I created my podcast to be. I want people to express what God has done for them, because some people really don't understand the path and your journey of the things that you've been through along the way while trying to get where you're at today. And you still have struggles, but that relationship with God and how he put you through a storm and how he bless you in the end, and you may go through a storm again. It's just a constant, but each time it's a level up.
Yes, for real.
Yes.
It is a level up. I remember this was 2018, and I share this story every now and again, but long story short, I was at the point where I was using payday loans to pay rent. And I remember my first speaking gig in my studio, outside of my own studio, locally. It was in Columbus, and I was getting paid like $100 some odd for this thing. And I was so happy. I was like, oh my God, it's some kind of income. Because at that point, I didn't see a lot of clients. People weren't calling me like they are now. Though they wouldn't hit me up, It was before I got on social media. So it was just kind of local stuff. And it was just dead, not dead. It was just kind of, dead space, in terms of just not hearing from people quite a bit. So I remember in 2018, I kept saying to myself, Jaron, set the table, they will come. Jaron, set the table, they will come. And so I would go to Starbucks for hours upon hours upon hours, setting stuff up, setting up a website, setting this up, and had no money to pay for nothing. At some point, I wouldn't even pay for drinks at Starbucks. I would just sit there, and they would just let me sit there because, I came in there enough so they know they could trust me.
Yeah.
But I remember those storms of having to use payday loans to pay rent, or using pennies to put in the slot thing to get ramen noodles and break the blocks up, just to eat a couple times, for a meal for a day, I remember that, and sometimes when I go to the grocery store and I go, just grab what I want and put it in a cart, now I'd be like, dang, I kind of like that now. I can just grab what I want, treat myself, add some more in there. Yeah. But at one point it wasn't like that, so that struggle, that rain, child, when it rains, it pours, how some folks say, it was hard. I was also going through some personal situations of my own. On top of I can't pay rent, and everything like that, it was rough. I had some deaths in the family and friends and everything back then. But that 2018, 2019 was a big trajectory, and I'm gonna tell you what happened. I started asking for help. I was asked for help in 2018. I was just like, I can do it, I can handle it, But 2019, I asked for help, and that's when my life changed. Wow. The moment I asked for help. And what happened was, I went to London for Esther voice training. My people, I'm certified in that program, and we went to London. My first time going overseas, and I had to pay my way to get there. A lot of academic conferences to pay a way to get there when you're presenting. They accept you, but you got to get out there. Yes. And I remember this is when Facebook did fundraisers, personal fundraisers. I don't know if they still do that anymore. But anyway, I got on and I made the little page for my fundraiser because somebody who I know said, hey, you should do a fundraiser, have people give you money. I was like, I don't want to get people giving me money. Pride. Okay. Let's call for what it is. Seriously. So anyway, long story short, I was in Pittsburgh working, and I didn't know I posted it, but I clicked save, and I thought I clicked save, but I clicked share. It was like 1 a.m. And so I woke up, and it was a $4,000 goal. I woke up to $1,000. Oh. And I said, now what? And people were just giving all day, giving. I made way past my goal in less than 24 hours.
That is a blessing.
Because I asked for help.
That is a blessing.
So that helped me to understand, like, Jen, it's okay to open up and ask for help. Yeah. And that's when everything just started changing. It just shifted. Once I said, Jaron, ask for help. Because we're not meant to do this alone. We're meant to have community. So, yeah.
That's a blessing.
It's a huge blessing.
It is. So what is it as far as like the important part of you to carry the message when the people can utilize like basically like be vocally you.
The message is really just help. I want people to be who God called them to be, who they are created to be, who they want to be. And so a lot of times we change our voices for society, like societal reasons, personal reasons. We change the sound of our voice because we want to come across a certain way. And I've never been one to change my voice, but I've dealt with clients who have changed their voice, or they modified how they talk to fit a certain whatever. Again, I never really felt like I did that. I've always kind of just talked the way I talked, in terms of my vocal range, how I kind of have this Midwest like drawl to me. I've always just had this sound. And that'd be vocally you. I don't even remember how it started. I started kind of saying it in videos, and that's the saying that people come up to me and say the most. Be vocally you. Be vocally you. They'll come up to me. Be vocally. I love that sweatshirt. Be vocally you. And I love it because people are like really listening to the ends of my videos. That comes at the very end. So I say, y'all watching the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, I don't say until the end. And so I love that people say that because I want them to be who they are, of course I'm talking about the voice, but it's really be your whole self. Whatever that looks like, whatever that sounds like, whatever that feels like, be that thing, be that person for you. Be you. We want to see, because, nobody's like you in this world. Everybody's created uniquely. God created us all individually. So it's like, there's already somebody like that out there. We need you out there.
Yes.
For whatever reason, we need you to be who you are out there.
Yes. Sometimes we be trapped in an identity of what people have brought on to us or the people that we're surrounded by. And it's just so important for us to know ourselves individually so that we could go in the path that God wants us to go on.
There it is. There it is. Because somebody's going to connect with that authenticity.
Yes.
Somebody's going to see it and say, oh, I kind of vibe with that. I feel like for some reason you connect to that. And you attach yourself to that person or that thing that you connect to. So it's important to be ourselves. So then the next person looking at it can say, oh, I can do it too if they can do it.
Yeah, and love you for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. So what makes your approach to voice training different from the traditional methods?
From a more practical, physical, scientific point of view, I really try to focus on what people can control in their bodies. So I try to focus on, manipulating the muscles, manipulating how you want to move your vocal tract or your voice and, like that sort of thing. And I think even past that artistically, I see my clients as artists. I don't see them as people who kind of, it's not what Jaron says goes. It's how do you want to sound? I asked them, I said, how do you want to sound? Like, what do you want to sound like? What do you want to do with your voice? Because at the end of the day, I don't want everybody to sound like me. If I teach everybody the same way like me, like everybody gonna sound like Jaron.
Yeah.
Who wants that? I love who I am. I love my voice and everything, but there's other gifts as well.
Yes,
and I want people to hear those gifts. So that's kind of the approach that I take. And sometimes clients are kind of like, you're asking me? And I'm like, yeah, I'm asking you because this is your voice, your art. I just want to make sure you're doing stuff healthily. I don't even say healthy, just efficiently, and in a way that you're getting the result that you want. That's where I draw the line. And I used to be like, oh, you need to do everything a certain way. But I'm like, people want different results.
Yeah,
Some
they
people
do.
don't want to sound like Leontine Price. They want to sound like, Layla Hathaway. Both gifts are amazing.
Yes.
But some people leaning more towards the Layla Hathaway thing, which is cool. Some people leaning towards that Leontine Price, which is also cool. I love both of those artists.
Yes.
Oh God, yes.
Yes.
And that's the thing. Like, I want to. These styles are just styles. It's not a one way. You have to do it like this way or that way. It's just, how do you want to sing? Do you want to mix them a little bit? Do you want to, have a spectrum of it versus just, so that's kind of the approach that I take with my clients. And I think that's what sets me apart is that I just listen to the person that's coming to me versus me saying, you must do this and sing like this to do it right. There's no right or wrong.
No.
To me, there's no right or wrong.
Wow.
It's just, how do you want to sing? How do you want to use your instrument? How do you use your gift? And we'll work on that.
That is amazing. So what services do you provide for individuals? Is it just singing or do you help people with speaking as well?
I do both. Yes. I do singing, of course, that goes without saying, but speaking as well. I've had preachers. I've had podcast hosts. I've had, politicians. Corporate executives. I've had all those people, for like the corporate executives, sometimes it was, how do I command a room with my voice? Or how do I pace my words in a way where it sounds more confident? Maybe for podcasters, it's like, how do I have a more relaxed approach in my questions? How do I become more organic in my delivery? For preachers, it's like, a lot of them is like, what key do I start with when I start to hoop and holler? And, I just work on it with that, because it's a cultural thing too with that,
Right.
So they know that I'm a church kid at heart. So he knows what I'm talking about when I say hoop. And I
holler.
know exactly what you mean, so I can, help them with that. So yeah, I do a lot of speakers and stuff like that too. And I actually love working with speakers. God, I love working with speakers, but I love working with my singers too, because singers, we work on, like you said, how do you want your sound to be? What is the best way to approach that sound? And I like to play with sound itself. I always tell people there's no bad or good or right or wrong in here or good sound, bad sound. It's all, let's just make sound and explore sensations and see what happens, see what comes of it. You may end up liking it or not liking it. I tell you all the time, I'm not married to nothing I say in here. So if you don't like it, you can throw it away. You can take it with a grain of salt, take some of it, take all of it. I'm just more so a guide, versus like, you must do what I say.
Yeah.
Because they may discover something different about their voice in their own private practicing time that they can bring to me next time. And I'm like, oh, that's how, let's do that, So yeah, that's how I approach it, So with singers and speakers both alike, I really try to be organic. I'll call my sessions organized, organic sessions. So there's a goal. We have goals. How we get there,
Yes.
we'll see.
That is
let's
amazing.
just make it happen.
Yeah. So I know you're real big on privacy and protecting yourself, your brand, and your guests. Can you share at least a few of the individuals that you have worked with?
Yes. So like I said, the Clark sisters. I worked with them. Wayne Brady. I worked with him. Are you talking about celebrities, right?
Anybody?
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about.
Anybody.
Gosh, I worked with him. I've worked with people, worship leaders at different churches. I've worked with retirees who just want to sing on Sunday morning. I work with everybody. So I have the Grammy Award, Tony Award winning clients, Broadway folk, and then I have the folk, who just want to sing on Sunday morning. And to me, both are equally as important. It's not like a hierarchy of, no. They both are equally. And, sometimes the retirees will come bring you food while while doing our sessions. Okay. And I like that. Okay. I like a cookie. Okay.
Just hungry, y'all.
Look, okay, just give me I will take a sandwich, okay? But and I know that's how some of them express their love and express their kindness, and I'm always appreciative of those, but yeah, I'm working a little bit of everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So if you could sing one worship song or gospel piece with an artist of your choice, who would it be?
One? Just one.
Is that difficult?
Ask me this question about people. I mean, it is okay. Because you said gospel or any or
no
gospel?
worship song or gospel piece.
Okay. One that I love, I actually just posted a video like 2 days ago of me singing it. Dear Jesus, I love you, Walter Hawkins. I love Lynette Hawkins Stevens.
Okay.
If she ever hear this, I love you so much. She is one of my vocal goats, for real. If I could ever, because I feel like I identify with her vocally in my approach. And even my brothers kind of said, my older brother, Darrell, I told him one day, I was like, I really feel like I sound like Lynette. And he listened to her. He was like, yeah, I can see why I can hear how you're inspired by her. I can hear it in your delivery. Cause she's just so she's proud. She just go for it. But she also so controlled. And so I would love to sing with her. Oh, that'd be a dream. But can I add one more in there?
Oh my God.
Okay, this last one. But I would love to do any song with either the Clark sisters or Karen Clark Sheard. Like Balm and Gilead or something. Because I love you want to see how high we both can go. Let's see who go, let's just both go high. Let's just have fun, Ain't no competition. I just want to go high with somebody who can also go high,
listen to you.
I just want to sing, I just want to do that with somebody, just go for it, with her. Oh, that'd be so fun. Oh, so fun.
Just too much. So your niece is your buddy singer.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What do you hope that she learns from watching your journey of faith and resilience?
Oh, Oh, my Tamia, my girl. I hope that she learns that she can do it too.
Okay.
I often tell her, I say, your uncle got a whole bunch of followers on social media, and she kind of understand, because they watch YouTube and stuff, and so like my brother says she watches me sometimes at the house and stuff like that, and so I just hope that her seeing her uncle, who she also sees in person quite a bit, can say, okay, he on here doing his thing, I could do my thing too, because she actually offered to teach me a voice lesson. And I said, when we do it, we are going to put it on camera. Okay. We are going to tape this because I need this as footage. And I said, maybe I'll give the studio to you when you get older. Who knows? Maybe we'll take on a family name and pass it on down. But yeah, I just want her to know whatever she wants to do, singing-wise or whatever, I want her to know that she can do it too. Like your uncle is on here, on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, like with all these followers, all these people, thanks be to God. And it's like, but you see him like as your uncle. Like that's just Baba to you, Yes. So I love that combination is in her life, that she can see her uncle on TV, on YouTube and everything, but also I could drive 7 minutes and see her and we can go out to eat together. So it's amazing. Like it's that tangibility of like, yes. Oh, I can do this. He doing it. I can do it too.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So what message do you have for your family? Because you are big on family. You love your family.
I do.
And I think it'll be really special for you to leave them a message for this interview.
You want me to cry again, huh? You trying to stir it up. Okay. Gosh, let me think about I think what I want to say to my family is thank you. Thank you for letting me be me. Thank you for never trying to change me. Thank you for encouraging me all these years. Thank you for being so supportive. They have been with me every single step of the way. I am not exaggerating. I mean, from day one to now, they have been by my side. They have come to every thing that I have put on, and if my one brother can't come because he's in Nashville, he physically cannot be here, but he be here, like even in spirit, like he be here in spirit. So I guess I want to say thank you. And what I try to do every event I have for my studio, I try to honor my family. I try to give them flowers, give them something. Yes. Every event,
I noticed that.
Yes, I want to every event that is on purpose, that is a purposeful thing, because I want to say thank you. Yeah, that's what I want to say. Because so many things have changed in my family's dynamics over the years. But at the end of the day, it's still, my people, my mom, my dad, my two brothers, not my niece, and, and everything, my aunts, all of them, but thank you is what I got. Thank you for real, for just, because without their support, God, I would not be where I am.
Yeah.
I mean, my parents and my mom and my brothers bought shirts, and
aww.
when my mom had voice lessons with me, and like all that kind of stuff. I remember getting my first spot at Seminar Space in this little tiny closet. This thing was tiny, okay,
aww.
But it was mine, and I was proud, okay.
I know that's right.
And I remember when I got the keys, my mom and dad both came, and I can tell, I know my parents enough to know they were just like, okay, because it's just small. It's fine if it's small. But I'm like, look, they were like, Jaron, you doing it. Like, you doing it. So we gonna support. So they was there when I sold my tea blends to Compass Coffee back in the day. My mom was sitting there. She came with me for my first delivery. We took pictures outside the door. Like, my parents, my people have physically and spiritually, emotionally been with me every step of the way. So
wow.
Thank you.
That is amazing. So how can people get in contact with you and utilize your services and follow you on social media?
Yes, I am all over the place on social media. Just type in JMLEGRAIR STUDIO. I'm sorry, LeGrair Studio. You'll find me on all the social medias, whatever you want to look for me on. I am on there. But you could go to jmlegrairstudio.com. You can look at my services, see what you want to do. Everything's online, so it's, I'll be at the location. You just pop on a Google Meet link, click, and I'm right there in front of you. But yes, you can type in my name, Jaron M. LeGrair, Jaron LeGrair. I will pop up on everything. Just Google it. I'll pop up on everything.
Well, Jaron, thank you.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Our schedules wouldn't What mission?
I know. Lord, this summer was crazy. But I said, you know what? I'm going to get in there before, winter. So, yes, I'm glad we got to do this today.
Yes, I am so happy. Thank you.
Thank you for real. Thank you so much for having this and letting people have a voice.
Yes.
Just express who they are.
It's needed.
Mm-hmm.
It is needed. Well, thank you everyone for tuning into Life Her Podcast. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and also listen to Life Her Podcast on all social media platforms.